Hi guys, it's Sarah. So I was thinking about doing some coloring tutorials for you. And some of you have asked for eyeshadow, some of you asked for different actual pencil techniques. So today I'm going to go ahead and do one that I have found to be a lot of fun, which is the actual Vaseline technique. So I'm going to turn around and we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, this looks like a great angle so you guys can go ahead and see pretty much everything. I have some Prismacolored pencils, which I'm not only going to be using those. And back here in this pink thing is where I have all of my other pencils and markers and all of that stuff. So let me tell you kind of what I already did. So in this ring here, I've decided I want some highlight in these light bulbs that I'm going to make. So I just left some yellow down the center. I'm going to go ahead and darken that a little bit. And then I laid down the blue and the red, putting darker ink, darker pressure on the outside, going lighter to the inside. I did take a blending stump already and go over the red. That is not necessary for this technique, and in fact, I didn't even really like the way it turned out. So I'm going to take a different red. This is just a Crazy Art red, and I'm going to dip it right in my Vaseline. So you're going to see that you're going to want to get a good amount of Vaseline on the tip of your pencil there. Let's see if that's in focus for you. So now you're just going to take and you're going to come and color over the top of where you have already laid down your color. And it will go on rather smooth. And I'm just going over the top of where I already have the Prismacolored. Now when you color over the top, this yellow that's already in there, I'm going to bring in a little closer so you can see it. This yellow that's already in there is going to automatically show through and be a highlight. Now, if you're wondering what kind of paper I'm on, I'm just on regular cardstock that you can buy at your local big box retailer. It's nothing fancy. I might be an artist, but I'm also cheap. And so I like using what I can find rather inexpensively. Don't get me wrong, I do have some more expensive materials, but as you guys know, I also have two little thieves that live with me. And so I don't want to find my really expensive stuff mixed in with theirs. And we don't have a lot of places to hide anything, so I stick to stuff that they also can use. And we like sharing, so. Okay, so I'm not going to color in all of these. But there is that technique there with the red. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a tissue or something close by where you can wipe the Vaseline off the tip of your pencil when you're done. You don't want that to stick on there. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the exact same thing with the blue. This is a Sargent Art pencil, so you just dip it in there, get it on the tip, you're going to come in and you're going to color over the top. And you just want to make sure you keep a nice blob of Vaseline or petroleum jelly where you're actually coloring. Make sure you go over that yellow too to nice and blend it in. And my pencil actually isn't quite sharp enough. I don't buy a fancy pencil sharpener. There is, at our Meijer store, which is a local big box retailer, they sell a pack of artist supplies, which comes with 2 pencil sharpeners just like this. It makes such a nice, short wooden tip that I like, and it makes the pencil really pointy. It's in the actual artist supplies, back by the home and office, or school and office, I should say. I love the point that it gives to my pencils. It's I'm just going to finish up this blue one because I only have 3 blue lights here in this mandala. I'm also going to show you this technique without color underneath. So, and I'm going to show you without using the Prismacolors because I know not everyone can afford Prismacolors. So I'm going to go ahead and color these bulbs here on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and actually, oh, let's test this out. I've never tested this technique with my metallic pencils. So let's see what happens. This brand is actually called Royal and Lagninkle. I bought them at Five and Below, which is a local discount store that we have here in Ohio. We just got it. I know you have them in Wisconsin, and I'm sure you have them elsewhere. I first heard about them when my mom had asked me if we had them, and they live up in Wisconsin. I think the lead, like I always thought the lead of this pencil was probably softer being a metallic. I don't know. It does give a nice coverage. You don't see a lot of the grain of the paper. Let's do one more. I do roll my pencil around so to keep the Vaseline along the tip so that I don't always have to re-dip as well. The one thing I have found using this technique is you are going to want to let your paper dry for a while because otherwise it can smear. So you might not want to necessarily close your book if you're coloring in a direct book until the Vaseline has dried. Now, let's take a look a little bit closer here. See if we can get it to focus. So there it is right there. The metallic pencil with the Vaseline. So here's another way that you can actually do this. I'll use my blending stump here, and I'm actually going to put the Vaseline directly on the area that I am going to color. I guess since I have some red blend on this blending stump, I will go ahead and fill this area in with maybe an orange that might cover that rather nicely. Okay, so there's a layer of Vaseline in this section right here already. I'm going to scrape up any excess because you don't want tons. I'll go ahead and I will grab maybe, let's see, burnt orange. I don't really have a color scheme in mind for this one. Dip it in the Vaseline and go ahead and start coloring. You don't have to use as much Vaseline necessarily because you already have some there and it's already changed the paper some. Now if you don't mind the feel of Vaseline on your finger, you could just come in, use your finger, fill in the area, and then color. Gives you the same effect instead of using a blending stump or a cotton swab. And you'll notice if you're seeing pencil lines in where you've laid the color, you probably don't have enough Vaseline on the tip of your pencil because it's going to look more almost marker-esque where you're laying down your color than the streaks of your pencil. So those are two ways that you can use this technique. I am going to go ahead and finish coloring this using the same techniques here. I'll leave my pencils out so I know which ones I'm using because I'm going to know the pattern around here. And I will show you the final copy here at the end. Just a quick check-in. As you can see, I've been working my way around the mandala using a variety of brands of pencils, using the same technique of dipping it in the Vaseline and coloring in the section. One thing I've noticed as I'm going along, the color is actually a little bit lighter than the straight pencil when you're using the Vaseline, which I had found rather interesting. So, all right, well, I'm going to finish this up. I have just this middle portion, which is I'm going to color all light green, and these little ribbony things. So I will be back. All right, guys, there's the final product. As you can see, I'll pull it up so you can maybe see it a little bit closer. There's the final product. Everything has been colored in with the Vaseline, and it's still wet, so you can see that there's that shimmer on it. I will go ahead and take a photograph of it and post it in the group on Facebook, which is Color and Connect, No Screens, Just Crayons, as well as on my Facebook page, Sarah Hickman Designs. I'm going to flip it back around here and give you a couple final tips. All right, guys, so here's a couple final tips. When you are working on a mandala, make sure you go center out. If you are trying to go back into the center and you worked on the outside some, your hand is going to hit the edge of the Vaseline, which will then actually maybe make some possible smudges around the side of your drawing and your coloring. Not the most attractive thing, especially if you were going to maybe cut this down to an 8x8 size and put it in a frame, maybe for some Christmas decorations or something like that. The other thing is, when you sharpen your pencils while you're using the Vaseline, it can sometimes make your hands a little slippery. I don't know why, or maybe it makes your pencil slippery from touching the side. But my silver that I was using, it actually made my pencil rather slippery, and it actually like jabbed when I was sharpening it, which kind of damaged the lead a little bit there. Not a huge deal, but just something I had noticed. Metallics don't make a huge difference if you're using them or not. And I didn't see much of a difference between the different brands of pencils. I used Craze Art and Sargent Art and Premier pencils, or Prismacolor pencils. They are the Premiers, not the Scholars. So yeah, so those are my tips, and I'm so thankful to have shared this with you. If you like what you see and want to see more, subscribe to my channel below. I'm not huge at posting, but I do post from time to time. The best place to find me is on Facebook. My page is Sarah Hickman Designs, and the group for us colorers are just Color and Connect, No Screens, Just Crayons. All right, guys, take care, and I will talk to you soon.